Hello everyone, I'm the Shinigami,
And I'm the Quincy.
and today we are doing a prediction video for Fairy Tail, Naruto, and Bleach.
We won't be doing One Piece because last week there wasn't a chapter, and this week there won't be a chapter. And we've already set our predictions for the next One Piece chapter. But other than that, let's send our prayers and thoughts to Oda Sensei for him to make a speedy recovery. And let's get this video started.
So we're going to start this week's prediction video off with Fairy Tail prediction. So, um, do you want to start with that?
I will. This week's Fairy Tail chapter. Well, hopefully it can build up a little bit because if you guys seen my review, then honestly, last week's chapter Fairy Tail wasn't. I really could care less for it. But the prediction for this week's chapter of Fairy Tail, I pretty much see it's gonna be another Natsu and Rogue chapter, Natsu and Future Rogue, and we might see a little bit of current timeline Rogue, just a little bit. But other than that, we will see a lot of Natsu and Future Rogue, and Atlas, Flame Dragon, and Mother Greya. Just pretty much that fight. And I do feel like honestly, Hiro Mashima might pull the Natsu's going to beat Future Rogue, set all the dragons free, and then we won't see any other battles from the dragons and dragon slayers. But yeah, that's pretty much my prediction right there.
Okay. For a second there, I was thinking they were going to, turn over all the dragons like the power of friendship. But, no. What I think is going to happen is, like you said, it's going to be big fight this week, or it's mostly going to focus on Future Rogue and Natsu. I completely agree with that because Mashima was setting up for this week by having Natsu and Atlas attack Rogue and that dragon that he's riding on, and I have a feeling that he's just going to he's going to try and make up for the past few weeks because they haven't been that great. And he's going to try and make up for it with like this really, really big fight. And, but yeah, it's really primarily going to focus on him. And I think we'll get a little bit of side story on Lucy. It's not going to say, well, not side story, well, we're not going to find out what she read in the journal, but she's going to be like going somewhere. And someone will be like, Lucy, where are you going? And she'll be like, I'll tell you later, or something like that. We'll still have absolutely no clue what she's doing, but I have a feeling that we'll see her, and she's going to go somewhere related to what she read in the book. So, or her own journal, her future journal. So, yeah, that's all I see happening for this chapter of Fairy Tail. And the Naruto chapter this week. Or do you have anything to add to the Fairy Tail chapter?
Um, nothing at all.
Okay. So for the Naruto chapter, I feel like we're going to see another fight scene. I mean, who knows? Kishimoto's been really odd lately with chapters. Like, he seems to be dragging them out. They're really, it's not like they're badly paced or anything, but it's just a lot of chapters to build up to the main fight that we're waiting for. And just because Sasuke's here doesn't mean the fighting is going to start right away. So either this coming chapter will be, okay, we're starting, and then everybody goes into the fight. I think we won't see Kakashi and Obito again until after the conclusion of their fight and whoever wins. And that's either going to be in this chapter or a few chapters down the road. And, I think it's going to be more of setting up plans on what to do and everybody figuring out what they need to do now that all the Hokages are here and everything. But I have a feeling that Hashirama's gonna take lead of everything. Yeah, so that's what I think for this Naruto chapter. What do you think?
Just gonna say one thing real quick. Um, in my perspective, it seems like Kishimoto has been rushing the chapters a bit. The pacing's been off, you know. Because last week's chapter you had uh Minato arriving, and then soon after you had all the other Hokages arriving, and then you had Sasuke. Um, I thought it would have been a lot better to have Sasuke arrive a few chapters later, and maybe the other three Hokages arrive, a chapter after Minato arrives, or like 2 chapters. It just seems that they got there too quick. But other than that, I'll get on with the prediction. I feel like we will see the Hokages go to work on that barrier, or whatever they're doing to the Jinchuriki, not the Jinchuriki, the Kyuubi. I feel like Hashirama is going to take charge, like you said, and I do believe we will see that thousand hand Buddha again, or was it a thousand hand Buddha that he used against Madara? I feel like we will see that again. But then I also see a lot of talking between Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura. A little bit of a reunion time, pretty much. But that's all I really see.
And now that you mention it, there might be a little bit of reunion time. I think there may be just some extra things with Sasuke, somebody saying, "Oh, I still don't trust you" or whatever. I don't know.
That's possible.
Yeah. So, should we go on to the Bleach chapter?
Yes, we should.
And do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I guess I'll just say what I have to say. Bleach chapter this week. We won't get Uryu again. It'll probably be a switchback between the Soul King Palace and Soul Society, but not from the Shinigamis we saw last week. Maybe from other Shinigamis. Like to see what they're doing. Like maybe we'll see Kira's recovery, or maybe we'll probably end up seeing Rukia if we go back to the Soul King Palace, or Byakuya, or something like that in the Soul King Palace. Maybe Ichigo walking into the that room to get his Sanpakuto reforged, and Renji's already waiting there for him, or Renji's in the next palace getting some training in, something like that. But we won't get to see the Vonnerai for a while. We won't get to see Huecamuno for a while. It'll just be, Soul Society or the Soul King Palace in the next chapter.
I see 3 possible ways that this chapter could go. One way it can go is it'll focus primarily on Ichigo. He was only in the human world for one full day. Not really one full day, it was one night. Nighttime into daytime, like the morning or whatever. So, it'll focus primarily on Ichigo getting his sword reforged, and I don't think it's going to be reforged in this chapter. I think that'll be maybe the next chapter. But I think this chapter is just going to be, Ichigo goes over to Renji, and Renji's still getting his sword forged, and maybe Renji gets his back before Ichigo, And then Ichigo sees the difference in Renji's blade, and, maybe Rukia and Byakuya finally catch up. Although I have a feeling that if they were to show Rukia and Byakuya, they wouldn't be all the way at Oetsu's palace. I think they'd be back at Kiryo's place, and they'd be eating, But I feel like Kubo would just show them for a few panels, just show them, something funny with Byakuya because of his demeanor and attitude. He's always just blank and, oh, I'm so noble or whatever. But Kiryo's so lively and stuff. So I think there'd be some comedic stuff in this chapter. The second way I see this going is exactly like last week's chapter, with a lot of going around Soul Society and seeing everybody like, what's this character doing? What's this character doing? What's this character doing? character development, character development, character development, and it wouldn't be with the same people. It would be with different people, like maybe check in on Matsumoto, check in on Shunsui, check on Ukitake, just see what other people in Soul Society are doing. Or the third thing I see happening is a mixture. I see a little bit of Ichigo, just seeing what he's doing, and then I see some Uryu, not much, just maybe a few panels of him talking with Juha Bach, and then we learn something new maybe, and another few panels with Kumamoto, and finding out who the heck that giant dog thing is. So that's what I see for the three possibilities of this chapter. Anything to add?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, so yeah, that's all for the prediction video. And again, we wish Oda speedy recovery, and that we hope he feels better soon. And not prediction, but review videos will be online tomorrow whenever the chapters come out. So, links in the description. Like, subscribe, add to favorites. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Really appreciate all of it. And I'm the Shinigami.
And I'm the Quincy.
And I'm signing off.
Adios, otakus.
Jana.